Hello, and welcome to the ASI Wares video on the Vallejo platform. And this video has to do with end of month reporting. The Vallejo platform has multiple methods to invoice for multiple programs. It also, if you're a foster care agency, has multiple ways to pay foster homes for foster care. This video is for agencies who invoice and pay homes once a month and also utilizes the end of month routines. So, before running your end of month reports, perform the data verification checks. There will be a video uh, to show you how to use the reconciliation module later. Uh, to run the data verification, uh, there's three checks you really want to run. I'm going to run them during this video, but I did another video on data verification. There's actually two titles below this one, so on the Vallejo playlist on our YouTube channel. You may want to watch it. When you run your end of month reports, the system will automatically create reconcile records. These records can be used to verify your payments when they are received by the payers. If you are interested in using the reconcile records, there will be a video added to our playlist soon about the reconciliation module. And that's the PowerPoint show. So let's go ahead and get started. To run your end of month reports, it's real. You go to one place. You're going to go to administrative billing, and right down here is a thing called end of month reports. Again, there's multiple ways to do your invoicing, multiple ways to pay foster parents, but this is the one this video is about. So when you click on that link from the menu, again, that was under billing, end of month reports. It's going to bring you to the end of month page. Now, the very first thing you should do before you start doing your end of month billing is click this bill to list. Right, and it's going to show you how each one of your payers is set up in regards to the bill to fields on that payer. Right, so you can look at those, but the most important piece down here is you want to make sure down here there's nothing listed under this title here. Bill to is empty, so invoices will not be generated. So if you have a payer set up where the bill to is empty, you can run these reports all you want, and it will not create an invoice for that payer. The bill to has to be filled out. So once you verify this, it's very quick and easy to do. Well, let me stop a second. If something is wrong, let's say this was wrong, then you just click this edit button and it will actually take you to that agency's page and you can fill out the bill to information correctly. Same way down here in this bottom category, if one of the bill to was empty, it would show you who the payer is, but there would be an edit button that you can click on and go fill that out. Then once you're done filling that out, you can come back here. You can rerun this if you like to verify your changes. Just click on it again, or if you're satisfied you did it correctly, then you can start your reports. Now, on this page, there's two sections. There's one for foster care and residential, and there's one for services. Let's take a quick look at both of those real fast, because I'm not going to go through both of these on this video, just save time. The way it works is the same regardless of which one you pick. Now, in the foster care residential, there's quite a few options that you won't see on services. So let me click on services real fast. Services, you have less options, but it works the same way. So let's go ahead, and we're going to go ahead and start with foster care residential. Now, I'm just going to step down through these and show you how to run your end of month reports. Now, this video is about a single pay or single invoice, single pay for foster homes. You don't pay them twice a month, you pay them once a month. So there's going to be some terminology like under here, there's process last half, process first half. We're going to ignore all the first half stuff on this video because this video is about you do it once a month, not twice a month. If you do it twice a month, just know that the Vallejo platform considers the first half of the month, the 1st through the 15th of the month. The last half would be the 16th through the end of the month, whether it'd be 28, 29, 30, or 31. So, okay, let's go ahead and get started. Run down through here. The very first thing we have is system offline. Now, we don't, when we first built our system, we would have agencies take the systems offline and run the reports. But we've kind of got away from that. You don't really have to take your system offline when you run reports anymore. We still have a couple partners that do, and that's fine. It doesn't hurt a thing. But if you want to take your system offline, just click this button. It's going to take the system offline. Now, what that means is that anybody with a security level of below 5, so it'd be 2, 3, or 4, would not be able to access the system while it's offline. So that's what the offline's for. And again, if you want to take your system offline before you run reports, you're absolutely welcome to do that, but it's not necessary. The next thing you want to do is, again, this is a single pay month, so you want to process last half. Okay, so you just click that button, and it's going to tell you when it's done. Okay, so let me pull this over here. So what I clicked on was process last half. So it says process last half here, and process last half is complete. So as you're going down through here, wait for the verification windows. Do not get in a hurry. Just make sure it completed. If it found a problem, it would tell you there was a problem. It wouldn't say complete. Right, so now once you're done processing the last month, go ahead and shrink that back up. And then we're going to recommend you do data verification. Now, I mentioned in the slideshow that I did a video on data verification. Um, that's two titles below this one on our YouTube channel for the Vallejo platform, the playlist for Vallejo. And the two things, well, I went over a couple things in there, but two of the things I went over are have access to right here. All right, I went over the billing comparison report and the rate check. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and show you everything here, including those two things again, but just kind of show you how this stuff works. So this first verification tool is it's going to show the billing margin data. And what that's talking about, it's really only a term for foster care. It tells you the difference between what is the difference between what you invoice and what you're paying a foster parent. So you should know in your programs that you shouldn't have any less than say $20. Right. So if I put 20 in there and click show margins, then it's going to go out and find any of them that have a margin less than $20. Again, here's what you're invoicing. Here's what you're paying homes. Now, these first four kids show up on this report because they're monthly rate kids, not daily rate kids. Okay, and this tool looks at daily rates. But this kid, Peter Porker, you're only invoicing $45. You're paying your home $33, so you're only making $12 a day on that kid. So that's his first data verification tool. The next one, show populated LOC populated check. This does work on the production box. It was just going to show you a list of all the counties, all your payers, and any kids who does not have LOC defined. Now, you don't have to run this because this report, if you watch the video uh, for data verification, this report will find kids that don't have an LOC for you, and they'll be highlighted red on this report. So you can kind of skip this one. The next one is show pending placements. Now this is very important. Okay. Now before I click on this, I'm going to have some pending placements that are before this date. All right. But we're doing some other testing, so I'm going to leave them alone. But typically, what you want to do is come in here and look at any pending movements or discharges, placements or respites. All right. You're going to look at the effective date of these things. All right. Now all four of these, if I was actually truly running my reports, I would want to handle these before I ran it because I'm running it for September of 2019. Every one of these was before September of 2019. Okay, so I would click on this, and then when I come here, I would either approve it or I deny it. Okay, depending on whether it's good or not. Same way with the next one, next one, next one. So make sure on your pending movements and discharges, placements, and respites, if they're before or during the month that you're running reports for, you really probably should process those before you continue on. Okay, the next one is rate check. Again, I'm just going to show you this real quick. I'm not going to go into all the details. Please watch the data verification. So I'm running September 2019, so I'm going to put in here September 2019, and I pick all in branch. Okay, so I'm going to run it this way first, show you what you get, and I did it for the date and branch, and you can do it however you'd like. You know what your rate structures are. So what I do, I come in here and I'm going to look at these, okay, and I'm going to make sure that all these are correct. All right. Here we're invoicing 65, paying the home 34, invoicing 75, paying the home 45, so on and so forth. All right, so all these should be legitimate rates. If you see something that's not, then fix it before you go any further. Okay, now you can also use some of this other information here if you like for stats and totals. So for this 6534 rate, there's 8 kids. We're billing 191 days for a total of 12,415. Of that, 6,494 is going to home payments, which leaves $5,921 uh, to your agency for administrative costs. And then the difference between these two rates is $31. Now the amounts are links. If you click on that 65, you're going to see the 8 kids that make up those stats. Same way if you click on the 0, there's no kids listed. Um, Click on the 75, then you have 4 kids listed. 8294, you have 12 kids, I think it was 12, 10 kids listed, so on and so forth. So again, I did a whole video on this tool during the data verification video. Check that out. It's a really great report. A lot of our partners, they run that like once every 2 weeks. They don't wait till the end of the month. They check their rates like every 2 weeks. So the next one is called billing comparison. So let's go ahead and take a look at this again. We're going to run it for September. And I'm going to run it for just the date and branch. Again, you can do it by state, you can do it by branch, or you can do it for your whole agency. I'm just going to run it for the date and branch. The right CSV, you can get a spreadsheet. So this is going to go out for the criteria that you do up here. And you can do it for a single payer too if you want to do it for a single payer. But it's going to find every kid that was in care during the state range. All right. It's going to look at the placement records, the home payment records, the invoice records, and the level of care records. And it does a comparison. All right. And what it wants to see is same values throughout. All right. Now, if something is wrong, it's going to highlight those things red. Okay. These happen to be monthly rates. That's why the rate is 0. And that's why it's not counting the days because it's a 0 rate. Uh, so all these 4 red ones happen to be monthly rate kids. But if you click on the name of the client, it will actually take you to the client's history page. If there was a legitimate problem, you can click on the name of the client, go out there and fix that problem. Okay. So again, that's the billing comparison report. If you want this in a spreadsheet, you can click that button, hit search, and at the bottom you can open a spreadsheet of all that data. Oh, at the bottom of this report, you do have totals. So here's for this client, well, here's the placement information. So Hank Aaron was in care 30 days. Darcy Jones was only in care for 1 day. Um, Peter Pumpkin Eater 29 days, so on and so forth. And then your home payments, here's all your home payments. Here's all your invoice records. And then here is your level of care census. So here's your different levels of care and how many days of care you're provided at those levels of care. So there's a really great information on that report. Now the last one I'm not going to go over. Uh, we have 2 partners that use this. They use one uses Sage accounting system, one uses Great Plains accounting system, and we actually generate files for them for their home payments that they just upload a file to their accounting systems. This tool is to verify that the IDs between the two systems match for those homes. So, okay, so when you're done with that last data verification, just close it up, and now we're ready to do our exports. All right, so now, again, we're only doing once a month, so we're only looking at last half. If you're a once a month agency, just ignore anything that says first half. If you were doing twice a month, then if you're doing it for the first through the 15th, you use that button. Same way under process, you would use that. But we're not. This video is about last or once a month. So when you come to export, now this is very important. Click this button. Click it only once, and you're going to get a confirmation. Please make sure that you're exporting the correct time frame. This will export the last half of September. Again, if you're single, once a month agency, it's doing the whole month. All right. Only I think we only have two partners that pay their parents twice a month. So uh, let's go ahead and click this. Again, click it only once. Don't do nothing else until you get this. All right. Now, it's very important you don't do nothing else till you get this, because this is actually what this tool does. It goes out and looks at all our standard placement information and looks what the home rates are, looks at what the agency rates are, and it generates what's called export records that we use for pay stubs, for invoicing, for everything we do financially on our system. So uh, that's why you only want to do it once. You don't want to do anything else until you see this message, and it tells you that it was successful. Now, if I came back here and click this again, it's going to duplicate everything. It's going to do what you tell it to. You're telling it to run the export again. Well, you already exported September information. If you click it again, you're going to have duplicate home payments. You're going to have duplicate invoice records. All right, so make sure you only do it one time. If you mess up, you can come down here, hit delete. I'm going to go ahead and do this, and then we'll go back and re-export. So let's see what this says. Please make sure that you're deleting the correct time frame. This will delete the export of September 2019. Any reconcile work. Now this is very, very important. All right. If it's now November and I'm getting ready to delete September, and I'd already got checks and explanation of benefits, and I put them into the system, into the Vallejo system for September, if I delete this export from September, I just orphaned all those payments that I received. Right? So if you've already done reconciliation work for the month you're getting ready to delete, you probably shouldn't do it. You should probably just log a ticket and let my guys help you through whatever you're trying to fix. Okay? So this is a very important message. Any reconcile work that has been done based on this in the month export will be deleted also. It's gone. We cannot get it back. It's totally erased. So now, if you're sure you want to do that, hit continue. And then we're going to say, are you sure that you're doing the correct time frame? This delete. Uh, this will delete the export of September 2019. This will delete any reconcile work that has been done. And if you're really, really sure, then you hit yes, and you just deleted September. Make sure this completes, and you get the completion message. All right, so then you can come back here. You don't have to go back here. It doesn't undo the process stuff. It doesn't undo data verification unless you went and fixed stuff. And then you could rerun data verification if you like. But come right back here, hit export. Yep, I want to do September. Wait till it completes, and then you can close that window. All right. So the next thing you want to do is, if you're paying your parent software system, you're going to start generating your pay stubs. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to click again, ignore first half. I'm going to click this button. It's going to go out and it's going to format all those export records into usable reports. Okay, so wait till it says complete. When it's complete, now you can go on and do your other reports. So let's look at the pay stub report. It's opening on my other screen, so I'll drag it over here. So every one of your foster parents will have a pay stub. There's Karen Pritchard, two kids she had. Uh, These are zero rates. I don't know why. She's in the Lexington branch. I really was only working with Dayton. So here's the Dayton branch. You can see Johnny Appleseed was there for 1 day. He's a $55 a day kid, so he gets $55. The next kid, that's Kentucky. Let me go on down here. Here's the Dayton one. This particular home had 3 kids. All right, 30 days, 30 days, and 30 days. So uh, it looks like that's set up as a monthly rate. I don't know why that would be. Here's one that's a daily rate, $55 at 30 days. Here's another monthly rate. So that's one. Um, they were there all 30 days, so it's one payment for the month. That's why that's a one there for 123. And then this particular home also had some special payments. So each home will have a pay stub. You throw those to a printer and give them out to your parents. At the bottom of this, you'll have totals. All right. So here you have overall placement dates. You provided 1,202 days of care. Your overall placement payments for 55,859. Special payments, $18,000 worth of special payments. You had 23 homes where clients were placed, and you had 16 homes that got special payments that didn't have any clients. Okay, if you're using our direct deposit stuff, it'll show you how much of all this was direct deposit, how much was checks, and then we break it down by taxable, by branch, and then non-taxable by branch. So there's a lot of good information at the bottom of that pay stub report. The next tool is a non-taxable report. So the one we just looked at, the pay stub report, had all the details. All right, it had all the kids' names, dates, placement dates. This one is more of a summary report. So if you just don't want to put all the kids into your accounting system, then here's a report that you can take to your accounting folks and have this information inputted into your accounting system. Leave the specifics about the children, and the Vallejo platform saves a lot of data entry work on the accounting side. So this home is getting, for this account ledger, is getting $1,020. Let's find a different account ledger. Here's a different account. This particular home, they're getting, for this account ledger, they're getting 62 or 6,240. For this account ledger, which is graduation expense, they're getting $100. For this account ledger, they're getting 50. And for mileage reimbursement, they're getting 132 for a total of 6,520. And then there is some totals down here by branch and then overall. So again, that's the non-taxable report. If you're tracking taxable reimbursements to your parents, then this report will have the taxable reimbursements. It's going to look very similar to the one we just looked at. Let me pull it over. And we do have some taxable reimbursements on here. So the Baker home, this is a recruitment expense, $35. Home referral expense, 50. Recruitment, 105. So it's going to have all your taxable reimbursements. Again, you have totals by branch, and then you have overall totals for taxable reimbursements. And the last one, I only have 2 homes set up as direct deposit. This is a direct deposit file. You can actually take this file. If your bank supports direct deposits, then you can log into your bank's website, upload this file, and pay your foster parents. So that's the home reports. The next thing we're going to look at is agency reports. Expand that out. Now there's a bunch of them here. Most people only use these 3. I'm going to go over all of them just so you get some introduction to them. So this very first one is a data checking tool. So I'm going to click on that. Now this is a pretty full report, but all these are residential kids. So if you're doing residential, they will show up on here. But if you're doing foster care, and if you have somebody show up, it's because the home payment, that's what the maintenance part of this report is the home payment says 0. So you can actually just click on this kid. Now, I can't do it, but it'll take you to the payment screen for that kid, and you'll see the record down in the agency export table, down at the towards the bottom of the payment screen, you'll see an agency export record where the home rate is 0. Just put the correct value in there, hit save the payment record, and you'll fix that. Um, Not a whole lot of people run this anymore. That billing comparison report that we ran up here under data verification is going to find those problems. So, uh, but that's what it is. It's a data checking tool. This one is also a data checking tool. This is going to show you any of the export records you created where the start date and the end date is the same day, but the number of days are more than 0. Okay. Now this is legitimate. Okay, Johnny Appleseed. He started on 9/30 of 2019. So if we go look at him, come down here at the bottom, you can see that he was placed in the Brewer home on 9/30 of 2019. Okay, so that's a legitimate date. This end date is the end of the month, 9/30. Okay, so that's why that has one date. So our system is smart enough to know that even though these are the same, typically this would say 0 days, and that could be legitimate. There's many times where a start and end date on a record uh, have the same date because, like, if a kid goes into respite till the 15th, and then they in the Smith home, then they go right from the Smith home to the Jones home as a respite, and the regular home for Harris, you would see a home payment record that starts and ends on the same day, and the reason would be ended due to respite. So you can have records where it's the same, uh, but this particular one is because he was placed on the 30th. The end of month report was for September, which would put this at 9/30. All right, and that's why there is a 1 day count. So this is okay. This is not a problem. Right. So these two things are more just some more data checking tools before you generate your invoice reports. So now let's go ahead and generate our agency invoice report. Let's open that up. It's going to open on my other screen again. And here's our invoice report. So every payer will be listed here. This is you, all right, your information. And then you go see every kid from that payer that was in care in September and what you're invoicing for them. All right. Now we have different styles of invoice reports on our system. So some of these are going to look different. Like if you look at just these first two, look at the column headers right here. They're different. So we have different styles of invoice reports. All right. Next payer, all the kids from that payer, their placement dates, the dates of service. They were all full month. They were all 30-month kid. One of them's a monthly rate. Um, so, and then if there was any special payments for that payer, they'd show up on page 2. Next one. So you're going to have one for every payer that had kids in your program. And again, we have multiple styles of invoice reports. Here's a different style. This is more of a residential invoice report. Let's go down here to the bottom. And you have this little tool here that you can, these are the payers that the system found records for the month of September. And then if you want to use this for like hand counting stuff, we put that little line there. One of our biggest partners, they go through and hand count everything to make sure they didn't miss a kid every month. That's what those little lines are for. So you can write in, uh, your hand counted kids. So okay, that's the agency invoice report. Then you may not be interested in all that detail for your accounting system. If not, then you can get a summary report. So let's look at this. This is the standard summary report. This one will be sorted by payer. So the first thing you're going to see who the payer is, and then if you have multiple branches, you'll have totals for each branch for that payer, and then you'll have a grand total for that payer here. So you have branch totals, then grand totals for the payer. Here's the next payer. There's no kids from there. Next payer. You can see the different branches. Next payer, again, you can see the different branches. And at the bottom of this report, you have some totals. So you're invoicing $116,000 for that month. Your special payments on this were $182. Okay, the next one is the same report, only it's sorted by branch first, then payers. So let's look at this one real quick. Let's pull it over here. So you have your branch of Canton, right? The different payers, right? There was no invoicing for Canton. Here's our Columbus branch. They did have $11 invoice. Right, here's Dayton. All the different payers are listed here, what you're getting for each one. Again, you have your Dayton totals here. And then you have your Lexington branch. And then you have each branch will have this total. And then you'll have other overall totals down here. So you have a state total, then overall total. So, okay. And then the last report, um, this is mainly used by our Indiana agencies because they generate their invoicing another way because they actually input the information into the Kid Track system, which is the state system automatically. Well, it's an XML file that we create. So this actually helps them look at their reconcile module and look at what was invoiced through that other tool to make sure everything's matching up. So, they'll like we're in October, they'll run this for August, look at the reconciliation module for August and make sure there hasn't been massive changes between the two. Occasionally, rate changes get missed, movements get missed, so there can be variations between the two reports, but it's really used for the by our Indiana agencies. Okay, so that's agency reports. Next one we'll look at is special payment reports. So let's go ahead and open this one. So here's our special payment report. There was no training reimbursements. There was no birthday reimbursements. No rate changes. There was a home referral for Luke Anakin Groundwalker for $50. There was no home license reimbursements, home paperwork, mileage reimbursements. There was a couple mileage reimbursements. Oh, here's gratitude payments, other reimbursements, quite a few of them. So it's just going to show you all the special payments that were processed that month. Okay. Now, when you run your export, it's going to look at any special payment where the payment date is within this period. So that's what it's going to process. So, the next one is accounting files. I'm not going to open these. This again, those two big agencies that use Great Plains and Sage. There's those systems can accept import files really reliably, so they actually click these files to uh, or click these buttons to create files that they import into those systems for their accounting departments. Other reports. Now, here's something that I highly recommend you do is if you run these five things, all right, and save them off in a folder, like if you under your documents or somewhere on your network, if you had like year 2019, inside 2019 you had January, February, March, April, May, June, July, so on and so forth. Well, if you run these five reports and put them in the appropriate folder under the appropriate year, you will have some really great data at your fingertips, if you don't want to get on the system to look at stuff. So the very first one is mailing labels for homes not receiving checks. So any active home, any home you have that's active, that's licensed, not active but licensed, uh, that did not have any payments in September are listed on here. Okay, and you throw these off to a printer with Avery 5160 labels, okay, and print up mailing labels for those homes that didn't have any kids. So if you had to get a flyer out um, to all your parents, well, it's easy to attach the flyer to their pay stubs, but then what about the ones that are not getting a pay stub? Well, this will have those homes that did not get a pay stub, and you can actually again create a mailing label for those. Again, once you open it, just save it off of that folder. Let me go ahead and open that again. I forgot to show you this. I'm going to show it to you on all these just to reinforce the point. So let me pull that over here. So once you're done, just come up here, go save as. Oh, I gotta enable editing to do that. So you go save as. You know, this PC, my documents. Find your year 2019. You're going to click on it. We'll pretend that this is year 2019, and then this is September. Right, so I open that, then I just go save, and it'll save it into that September folder for 2019. Okay, the next one is show billing home. So this is a real nice report. So we're looking to make sure you have the right year or month and year there. Hit show stats, and it's going to show you. Now this is broken down by branch. So your date and statistics, you have number of placements 40, number of respites 1, number of discharges, number of movements, current at the end of the period, homes that are getting checks with clients, homes getting checks without clients, and then clients, overall clients placed in the month. All right. Now these are also links. If you want to see who those 40 kids are, you can open that. If you want a printable report of that, you can print that off. Um, One of our biggest partners who does over 2,000 kids a month, they click on all these for September and print them off and save them into that folder because they just want that. It's so easy to do. They want that data there. So again, number of respites, printable report, save it off. So it's really nice. So that's the first part of this. All right, and you have a box for each branch. Okay. The next part is your payers. So this is actually divided into two sections. So this section does it by branch, and then this section does it just by payers. It doesn't care about branches. So if you come down to this section, you want to see in all my branches how many kids or what kids that I have from this payer. Just click on that, and here's those kids you had from that payer. Okay. Now you don't have to print these and print those too, but if you want to figure out which one you want, and then you can print those and save it. The last thing this has is some error checking down here. Yours should not have anything listed here. We have stuff listed here because we're always breaking stuff on this system to try to, you know, get it to where we can't break things. So yours should be blank. If you find something in here and you can't figure out how to fix it, just submit a ticket. Let us know what month you're looking at this for and year, and my service guys will take care of that for you. So okay, so that's billing home. Again, come down here. You can do a printable version of this whole thing. So do a printable version. Open it up. Once it's open, let me drag it over here. Then enable editing. Save as. Off into that year 2019 September folder. So okay, that's billing home. There is a link to this billing home right under here too. Uh, right there. It takes you to the same page. So okay, show placement variance view. This is a really nice report. It shows you multiple things. So the very first section you have is multiple respites only for the same client in 1 month. Now this kid was just respite only placements. He wasn't a permanent placement, but he was here 3 or 4 times or 2 times that month. Okay, this section will show you any kids that were discharged during the month and replaced in the same month. This one is moved to a different branch from the original placement, so this will show you if a kid was placed in Dayton and moved to Columbus. This kid, or if anybody's in here, it would be a client who was placed in the Dayton branch but did a respite in Columbus or Canton or Lexington or wherever. This one will show you any respite only placements that became a placement. So they started out as a respite only placement and then they uh, became a placement. This is homes with special payments and multiple branches. This could happen if you're moving homes between branches. Typically, you won't see something there. The next one is discharge on the first day of the month. All right, and then the last one is agency rate changes during this period. So just some really good information that it's so easy to run. Click your printable version. I'm going to start skipping this. It's going to open up Word document, save it out to that year 2019 September folder. Next one is show current placements. So the day you're running reports on the system, if you run this, hit search, set up your filters accordingly, and you can do all your branches if you want. But and you can do it as a CSV if you like. Yeah, if you want to save this, you want to write CSV. All right, come down here, open up the spreadsheet, save it off to that year end 2019 September folder. Then you'll have your current placements on the day you ran your reports. Then the last one, so you have your current placements on the day you ran a report, but what about kids that were discharged, or you know something else happened in the month of September? So this placement activity report, you can run it. Again, set up your filters how you want them. Write CSV, search. This is going to show you all the new placements made in September, all your discharges in September, all your movements, kids that moved from one home to another, any kids that had a respite during the month, and then any respite only placements you had that month. Click on this, it's going to open up in Excel. You can go save as, put it in that year 2019 September folder. Okay, and that's it. Um, I already showed you how to delete September. Now, before we end this video, I do want to show you one more thing because I'm trying to plug the next video I'm going to be doing in regards to this stuff, which is our reconciliation module. So, when I ran those, I created records in our reconciliation module. So if I come here to agency billing reconcile input, and this is what the next video is going to be. So I'm not going into major detail here. I just want to kind of give you a little teaser on what is possible. So I'm going to pick September 2019. And I'm just going to do the date and branch. I'm going to show by branch. And it's going to show me all the invoicing stuff that happened when I ran those reports for September. Right now, if I got the payment in, typically you would do this. If your state pays by payers, you'll do it by payer. So like I got a check from this payer, or like in Texas, that's one person that has multiple counties, then you can have those persons' names in this bill too. All right. So you can pick that, and then it may be covering 8 counties or whatever, or regions. I think they're called region specialists, and Kentucky's that way too. But anyhow, so you can say, okay, we got our check in, and we got it today, and you're looking at your EOB, explanation of benefits. So you just verify these. Here's what we thought we should have got. What did you get? If they match, leave this checked. Okay. If they don't match, uncheck the ones that don't match. All right. Come down here. You're going to save this. It's going to take you to the next screen for the ones you unchecked, and you're going to tell the system exactly what they did pay you for. All right. And then you can actually come out here and you can say, I want to see what my outstanding balances are for this year. So I'm going to go all the way back to January 2019 to October 2019. And I want to show only where there's been checks received. I don't care about, September because we haven't got any checks. But I'm going to go ahead and click this show results. So these payers have these outstanding balances. Right? If you click on the payer name, it actually takes you to the kid and month detail. So for this kid, here's the stuff. So that's the little plug I wanted to share uh, on the reconciliation module, which I will be doing another video on here in the next few days. Thank you.